Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the I Like Birds podcast. I'm so excited that you're here. It is 8:36 in the morning, and I do not wake up hardly ever this early to get outside. If you hear the wind, I apologize. It's a beautiful morning, and I had no other option but to get on here and record what was just happening over the last 30 minutes of just some quiet time alone with God in the morning. No distractions, at least trying my best to make sure there's no distractions. Trying to start off this week on a good note, trying to create some new habits because of all the things I've just kind of been realizing. A lot of revelations have happened recently. A lot of reflecting has been happening recently in my life, especially knowing the fact that I am in a season of being settled, stable, peace in my home with my family, on our family land that is just gorgeous, beautiful, insane, honestly. And so yeah, man, I'm just out here, on this walk, and this is something I wanted to do because I just felt, yesterday was Mother's Day, and I was like, I stayed up too late Saturday night doing knocking out 3 different speeches for work, trying to get things done to finish off the week. And I stayed up too late. I was even I do this thing where I'll work super hard at nighttime, and then for the next 30 to 45 minutes after, I like to relax and just kind of do my thing, listen to music, watch some YouTube videos if that's what I'm feeling for the night. And with this one, you hear the wind? If it's windy out here, I apologize, y'all. It just feels so good, and it's hard not to come on here and share what's been happening. But so I stayed up way too late Saturday night, and then Sunday I could barely get out of bed. It was Mother's Day. I wanted to wake up and do the breakfast thing for Catherine, make sure she gets to sleep in. And I don't know, man, there was the fleshly weakness got in me. I was just so stinking tired from staying up too late night after night after night that I just dropped the bag. I dropped the ball, and I just felt so much conviction for it when I woke up. And she didn't make me feel that way at all. She was very gracious. She knows I work late at night and stuff like that, so she didn't make a thing of it. But at the same time, I made a thing of it. I felt convicted for it. I felt dang, this is that's an L right there. I couldn't even get up. And that's me. I'll come through in moments like that and get up and do it normally. That's normally my bread and butter. But this time, and it's been a cycle really. Since moving into the house, it's been a cycle of staying up too late, having so much just enjoyment of the house and just life that I'm almost in a sense celebrating too much. I kind of want to talk about that with you guys. It's I'm realizing this about myself, that I need to I need to tighten the screws on, because it can get a little excessive. It can get a little damaging. It can get a little unhealthy, and I wrote down in one of my notes just now, and I wanted to share with you guys that your flesh celebrating what your faith brought you with pleasure, I feel is a slap in the God to face. The slap in the face to God. I said that backwards, but let me say it again. All right. So celebrating with pleasure to the flesh is like slapping God in the face for the blessings that your faith brought you. I don't know if that's quote worthy, but I wrote it in my notes and I thought it was pretty fire. All right. So, but I hope you can relate to that, because I think we've all been in that season. What do we do when we get married? It's a blessing of God, but we party, we go on a honeymoon, we celebrate, in ways that are maybe a little bit fleshy, and as much as God wants us to have a good time and wants us to enjoy, ourselves and our wife and stuff like that, and enjoy the victories and stuff and celebrate with friends, it's all right, there needs to come time of that. But there needs to be and there needs to be a season of praise through it, and knowing where the blessings come from, which I think I've done a good job of that, and strongly believe that. I know it's all God's doing. It's not my doing by any means. But also not distancing yourself from God because you want to indulge in the pleasures of staying up late, having some brewskis, hanging out with friends, not reading the word, getting too back in the world to celebrate what the word brought you. Hopefully you understand. So that's something I want to kind of share with you guys, of something that I'm personally working on and that I've kind of had the revelation of yesterday. It was wild, man. I was in the kitchen and it was already a hard day enough. Holidays are always just kind of weird days in my world, in my mental space, the way I sleep, the way I think, the way I move throughout the day. It feels just more pressure and just kind of I don't know, it's just a weight I don't really like. Even when it's my day, even when it's my birthday, like my birthday just passed. I appreciate everybody that really showed love. I want to speak on that real quick. A lot of people really just, surprised me, honestly. I've been kind of, not MIA per se, but, I was in the RV. I didn't live in Texas for a while. I've moved from Florida for a few years now. And of course I have the pod, which has been awesome to be able to connect with people still and, socials and whatnot. But still, I thought, the whole happy birthday thing was over. Like I feel like Facebook doesn't advertise it that much anymore. People aren't on Facebook. So the fact that like people were able to still show love for the birthday was awesome. It was something that really made me feel good. And my buddy Mikey was here. He's like, man, you're so loved. Like, that's crazy. And, Olivia and Mikey both said the same thing. And so I truly appreciate the love, guys. It means so much, and I love you guys too. And it was an awesome birthday, and my best friends were here. We got this thing and get a grill at Lowe's, come back and whip up some burgers. I know we did chicken that day. But some barbecue chicken that was amazing, and we just hung out at the house. We got groceries. We picked up Noah, and we just kind of kicked it. We did a little fire. We had some fun with some guns. We did some other stuff. Like it was just a good time. I think. Maybe we even did no, we didn't do the podcast that night, I don't think. But maybe we did. I don't remember. Oh, no, we did the podcast the night before at midnight. Yeah, we did the podcast the night before. And we just really spent, we played Monopoly that night. We played Monopoly for like 4 or 5 hours. I lost a little bit early on, and Mikey and Olivier stayed up an extra hour to play. It was a good time, man. It was a memory for sure, playing Monopoly with your boys and just like how ruthless it can get when you're selling property and all that stuff. So, it was great, man, but my trip was amazing. The boys were here. We had such a good spiritual talk every single day. We went and we saw Tony Evans. It was phenomenal. We actually did a podcast episode together that I haven't edited yet, that is probably going to come out this Wednesday or Thursday. But I wanted to drop this episode in the meantime because there's just so much that's been happening in my own personal walk that I wanted to share before I drop that episode, and kind of just let you know that the episode is coming out, get you excited about it, because we did have some incredible conversations, y'all, to the point where I was like, man, I need to have more people on the pod. But it just shows me Ollie and Mikey's chemistry on there. You guys will really see what I'm talking about. We laugh, we stay on topic, we dive into some deep stuff. We went for like 2 hours, so we'll have a couple different episodes about it. So please listen to both of them, because they're both different and fun in their own way, while still kind of touching on some of a similar topic from the first one. So when you see part 1 come out, I don't think we're going to even do part 1, part 2. We're just going to do 2 separate episodes by different titles. So check that out when those drop, all right? But yeah, so much birthday love, and that's what's crazy. It's like when I got that revelation yesterday, it was so heavy because it made my knees buckle. I was in the kitchen and I had to lean on the countertop because I was realizing I need to start my week better this week. And then I got in the Word shortly after that, and it hit me even more so. I need to start my week off in a way that is honoring to God and getting closer to God, not further away from God. And the way to break, I feel like my cycle of staying up too late is start getting up early, and be excited about getting up early. So I was excited to get up early today, come out here with the birds, obviously connect with God, and didn't even think about doing a little pod until I just started having all these thoughts come through and all these back and forth convos with my man Jesus. And I just want to come on here and kind of share it with you guys. So I think you can definitely find some insight and apply it to your own life. And I was even thinking about this. This is something that's really whoa. It's I've told people my entire life, and I'm sure you can relate to this too. We're pretty much indoctrinated by this from a very young age of, what do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, little girl, what do you want to be when you grow up? And then we start putting our ideas on her. Do you want to be a nurse? Do you want to be a firefighter? Do you want to be an Olympic swimmer? Oh, you can choose your gender if you're an Olympic swimmer. Okay, I digress. But yeah, man, so we've been pretty much indoctrinated on what are we supposed to be when we grow up? And then we have guidance counselors. We go to college. We're supposed to go to college and start our lives in, thousands of dollars of debts, and it takes us years to get out of the hole. I got a couple buddies in life right now that are going through that, and I got prayers for them for days. I don't think the wiping out of the student debt thing is going to be good for the economy or the country, but at the same time, it might help some of my people out. So Come on, Papa Biden, just do it one time for the one time, I guess, Papa Biden. Bidenstein. That's the nickname I heard for him one time. I thought it was quite funny. Anyway, I don't know if that's very Christian to say, so I repent of that one if that offends anybody. I'm not trying to do that this morning. I'm just trying to get to this point here, which I've opened it with a very interesting way for sure. But the point is like I really feel like since coming to God, I've really felt that pressure off of like what I'm supposed to be. And I've become a lot more fluid in his will for what I'm supposed to be doing, who I am, and what he has called me to do, if that makes sense, right? So the initial calling was to tell people about Jesus and follow him. Like, that's it. And I kept feeling the flash of pastor going through. I kept feeling like, ministering to people is like something that I could be good at. And I'm doing that in real time. I'm doing that in real life. There's people in my circle of influence. There's people through this show, through this ministry that I have had my hand on in leadership and friendship and fellowship and guidance and just speaking that life. And also being a motivator for some people to, follow along in not the footsteps of me, but follow along in the footsteps of Christ through my own journey, right? That's something that I feel like has come to pass through the initial calling that God has put on me, right? But that's not to say that just because, I went to, I'm about to graduate next month, and I just finished school this past weekend for ministry. It was a 2-year program through Destiny Leaders Institute. Your boy will have a license to minister in Texas, hopefully. And I have the option potentially to be ordained through the ministry 1 year from getting the license, right? So essentially, I have the qualifications and the certificates, or I will have them to be a pastor if so choose, right? And that's so interesting to me because I don't know, if God opens that door, yes, but also I'm not going to strong arm it. I'm not going to go apply to all these places and try to shake hands and in hopes of an opportunity that will open up. Of course I want, that's how opportunities do come. Yes, but I'm not going to seek it. That's what I've learned so much in this season is like, I can't be the one to open up the doors that only God can open, and he's done that countless times again over these last couple of years where it's like, oh, I didn't even know I wanted to do that. You knew I wanted to do that through the desires of my heart and through the things you put in front of me. It's crazy, y'all. It's crazy once you get to that revelation where we're like, oh man, I'm hands off of this career. I'm hands off of this, fatherhood journey. It's all you, you've got control of my life, in a big way. It's a complete surrender. So I'm learning how to surrender the career aspect of it because, as you guys know, I went from wanting to be a cop and going through the program of that, and then didn't work out after 2 years of school, and then 6 months of hard work at the academy and stuff, and that didn't work out, and that was very hard at the time. That was my first big L in life where I was like, dang, that sucked. I went to school for that and it didn't work out. Now I got this criminal justice degree and nothing to show for it. It was a little burn, right? But it was a little chink in the armor, but I didn't let it stop me, right? So I just moved on from that to kind of just working as a waiter. And then, I was working as a bartender at Outback. Shout out all my Outback crew that still listens. And met my wife, and everything was kind of about forming my family at that point in life. I was like, all right, let's get this marriage happening. Let's get that situated, my family situated. And then I was working at Bar Taco. Shout out my Bar Taco peeps. I don't know if anybody from Bar Taco listens. It's a little fast over there, And shout out to them though. Good peeps still. Good peeps regardless. And then I switched on to, in that season of Bar Taco and Outback, I was doing music, big time, heavy. Very, very much so. I have over 50 songs, you know what I mean? And I was able to play some songs for my friends this weekend from the past, and it went really well. It was kind of cool because they were like, oh, I didn't realize this was this good, and yo, this is one of my favorite. And then they were just really vibing to it. And it was cool because what I did when I did the music, guys, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, is I went under an alias by the name of Barry Allen for years because this was at the time where I did do hip-hop music in high school, and I was trash. I was so bad, y'all. I was talking about foolish stuff. I was just reckless. I was just trying to be funny. I was trying to be like a class clown on a microphone, and I didn't want people to know that I was back on a track. You know what I mean? So I basically created a whole new alias account with where I made sure my face was never shown. It was only like my profile, and I went under that name, Barry Allen. And I posted stuff on SoundCloud, all my new music on SoundCloud as time progressed, and it just kept getting better and better and better, where I was able to really tap into just like my emotions and what I was going through and be able to really relate that to somebody on a track, right? So long story short, it went well. Got about, I looked the other day, it's around 45,000 listens on SoundCloud, about 10,000 on Spotify. I actually got picked up for a little publishing deal to put my music on Spotify at the time when it wasn't just anybody can get on there. So that was really cool to experience that. Made a little album and everything, have like hard copies at the house. And then I just got, me and Catherine made a few songs together, and then we just moved to a new house, and I just never set the mic back up. I felt like I was in a good place with my family and with my wife, and just trying to do life with that. And I didn't feel the need to like get on a track anymore, right? So I kind of stepped away from it, and then I found stand-up. And then I did stand-up for 3 years, and I legit, I really feel this way. I was on the path to making it. I don't know, like making it like, oh, he's the funniest guy ever, but like, that guy gets work. You know what I mean? That guy gets booked. I was on my path to that way, and I truly loved it. It was really enjoyable while being on stage, but off stage, it wasn't for me. There was too much, that went into it. It was leaving my family too much. It wasn't ordained by God, really. I mean, it was used by God, most definitely, with the people that I met, but it wasn't what the overall calling was. And that's why I say you have to really be fluid. Be fluid in your career. Be fluid in the decisions that you do in life and the things that bring you joy and bring you money. It brings you everything, honestly. So I say that to say, like, it's so important to be fluid. And I'm in this season right now of like, yeah, I got the book coming out, but I want to be fluid with it to the point where it's like, I'm not giving you guys a date. I'm saying it comes out in the summer. That means I got time to like do my final edits. I got time to make sure it's published and printed correctly without any kind of like pressure from the world to do the thing that I said I was going to do. And that's the thing. I've taken that pressure off of myself of being like, oh, I told people I was going to be a comic. I was going to be a famous stand-up comedian. I told people I was going to be, an artist and on tour and stuff like that. I told people, even though I didn't really tell anybody about that, I told people I was going to do this. I told people I was going to be a pastor. At the same time, it's like, yeah, I could, if God wants me to, if like that's what God has in store. It's really not up to me at this point. So you be fluid in your life. Be fluid with it, because there's going to come a time where you're going to have to switch something up, and you're like, I didn't even want to switch this up. I didn't control this switch up. It just switched up. Whether that be let go from a job, whether that be fired from a job, whether that be, graduating from school and being like, oh, I got to go be a waiter for a little while. What the heck? This isn't what I went to school for. But at the same time, it's like God's going to use that season to build you up for the next one. All right? So keep that in mind, my fellow birds. So yeah, I got some new habits, guys, in life that I'm trying to create for myself. The first one is just waking up at a decent time and getting outside in the morning, going a little walk. And then I would hope, this is kind of my goal, but I have 2 small children, so this might not necessarily happen, but getting back inside, having some coffee, getting in the Word, making some breakfast, eating the breakfast with the fam, and then doing some work that I have to do for either the ministry or my speeches for a few hours. And then after that, guess what? I'm back in dad mode, So that's kind of like the way I'm envisioning this next season going. Kind of was talking to Catherine about it yesterday, and we haven't even tried the whole like, because I work from home, but I work at night when my kids go to sleep or when my kids are napping. So there's never been there's been a couple times, but it hasn't been in the house so far at all, where I just kind of work from the house with them there. I've always tried to find a way to like go to a coffee shop or have my wife go to her sister's or something like that, but we're trying today something a little bit different, so I'm really excited to see how it goes. And then we pick up Noah tonight, and we're just going to have a really good week, guys. There's something I've been doing recently that like I told you guys, I have to be a little bit careful about. I don't get fleshly with it, but I've been connecting with people again a little bit more. Now that we have our spot, I've been able to reach out to a couple friends and see if they want to hang out, and we're going to hang out, man. I got my buddy Choppa coming through this Saturday. He used to be a comedian as well. He's gone a separate way since COVID as well. And I'm just super excited to connect with him. Him and his girlfriend are both previous comics and friends of mine. So I'm excited to like hang out with them, have them over, maybe even, be like, yo, what's your relationship with God? Yo, what's good? Like, you know, because I don't know his takes on God, you know. So I'm really excited to pour into him and see if I can, you know, talk about the real Jesus to him in a way where he's maybe never heard it before, you know, because I'm not 100% sure if he listens to the pod. I feel like I know who listens to the pod, because if you listen to the pod, you're going to tell me you listen to the pod. You know, there might be some people undercover listening to the pod that are maybe haters but like it, and, you know, but at the same time, like friends, I feel like you would know, you know what I mean? So with that being said, I definitely want to pour some life into him, and then I'm going over to my newest brother-in-law's house, maybe soon to be brother-in-law. He's not married yet, so he's my sister's boyfriend named Dan, and I can already tell they're gonna tie the knot. I can just already feel it. You know what I mean? I got that intuition. But nah, and they're just strong. They're just adults. You know, they're strong about each other, and they blend well together. And super happy for her. And I love the dude. He's awesome. Really cool guy. So I'm gonna go over to their house for the first time. Probably grill out there and just kick it in the backyard that he has. And we're gonna go with the fam too. So it's just gonna be a good time, man. And I'm just excited I just feels like I got my life back, y'all. Truly I feel like I got my life back, being in our own spot again. And it was a battle year, guys, man. Really a lot of storms, but man, we're on the other side of it, man. And I've already shared a lot about that, but I feel like I could always talk about that because it's real. So yeah, man. So, and speaking of that, man, all the blessings that has happened just in this last 2 years of coming to Christ, I kind of did a little post about it recently because I want to kind of share it, man. You got to share like the victories that God puts in your life, because man, there's going to come a time where you're going to have to look back on those moments, bro. Because like, guess what? Just because I'm on the other side of the storm does not mean a new storm ain't coming. All right? A new storm is on the horizons, I'm sure. Because that's what happens when you're walking with God. You get spiritually attacked left and right. Trust me, it happens all the time, nonstop. But guess what? God's got you on the other side again. God's got you through it, you know? So can I get an amen? All right. So yeah, I wrote this down. This is one of my last notes, guys. Don't worry. I'm going to wrap it up soon. God blessed you because he wants more of you. Say it again. God has blessed you because he wants more of you. That's something I truly believe in and kind of feel in this season. It's not so much of like he blessed you so you can be done with him, you know what I mean? Or just like stagnant. You know, he wants more of you, and he gives you these big blessings as a way to just show you, like, it's almost like a down payment on the future blessings and the future treasures that he promises us in his word. Like when we get to heaven, y'all, the people that are rocking with Jesus, like, yo, telling people about him, reading about him, following him, trying to learn more, trying to grow in that relationship. You know, the people that are putting in that, like, not to say work, but, you know, that word. Like, you know, it's a spiritual battle. It's a fleshly battle where you have to deny self and surrender everything. You know, it's not easy, guys. It's not, I don't like it. I do it, but I don't like it. You know what I mean? So there's treasures in heaven for that, you know, and the Bible also says that we can lose those treasures, you know, so we have to continue to the end of the race pretty much. We have to keep going through it. It's not about like, yo, you get everything you prayed for and then you're like, all right, hands off, peace. I'm out. I'm back to doing my own thing. Appreciate you, G-O-D. You know, it's not like that. So with that being said, I encourage you, when you get blessed, realize that he wants more of you. All right. He don't want less of you. He wants more of you. So how am I going to give God more of me? Well, first thing I can do is wake up and start my day with him. I'll tell you that. I need to get back to that. That's the way I used to start my days before, you know, life got crazy, before the storms pretty much, you know. So getting back to that is very important to me. And maybe I'll make these little episodes every time I'm on my walk, you know, and who knows, maybe you can start your mornings listening to the bird show and getting your relationship right with the Lord. And of course, you know, the other episodes that we make, we drop those at another time. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if we're big enough for that yet, but maybe that'll help us become bigger. Who knows? You know, you never know. So I just do the pods when I'm honestly spirit led as much as possible as of late. And I feel like that's helped the show in a lot of ways, of just being as organic as possible, even if it's like not the most professional sounding. You know, we got the birds out here, which is cool. We got the wind out here sometimes. And luckily out here, you don't really hear anything else though. You know what I mean? Like, we out here. We're in the woods, baby. Like, I saw a coyote run across our front yard yesterday. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Talk about, let me get the shotty. Let me get the new piece. me get that dragon breath on them. All the gun guys know what the dragon breath is, but yeah, man. And I cleaned up the backyard the other day with the chainsaw, you know, trimmed the trees down a little bit. Just doing that work out here, man. It's been cool so far. Trying to grow some grass. It's not really coming through yet. I don't think I've watered it enough, but lots to be excited for, guys. So there's always room for growth. I'll leave you with this. Always room for growth. That's what I talk about with being fluid too. That lets you grow. That doesn't constrict you into like, you know, you should never live the same day twice. It's something that I feel very strongly about. And I think it's good because it keeps you in this constant like feeling of not to say joy, but just like meaning, honestly, where it's like, yo, today's going to be entirely different than the last one, you know? And luckily God has blessed me with opportunity in my career that I have at the current moment to be that way. And I'm going to live in that for as long as possible, man. I'm going to try to keep that as long as possible. I'm going to keep praying into that. Every time a little order comes through for a speech, thank you, Jesus. And we do a little dance. Hey, appreciate that, Lord. That comes from you. That don't come from man. All right. So having that perspective too, realizing that your check doesn't come from man. Your check comes from God. That take you a long way. And even when you're struggling to pay those bills at the time, just realize God's got you, you know. It's crazy because I was in that season of just not feeling that way for a couple months, and God had to show me that He is my provider, and now I'm a testimony of it. I got my gigs back. I feel like my speeches have gotten better. My clientele has gotten better. My writing skills have gotten better through it, and I'm treating people with more grace and more politeness over the internet. You know, I'm not just seeing people as a number anymore. I'm seeing them as like, yo, how'd the speech go? Like, show some love. Like, hit me up when it's over. You know, and it's just been really cool to connect with people through something as special as a wedding speech. And I actually did a graduation speech a couple weeks ago, y'all. I did a commencement speech, and it is fire, guys. I kind of want to share it with you. I'm not gonna lie to you because it is fire. But it just shows that, like, yo, God opened that door for me, and I walked through it, and I just really enjoyed the experience. And now I'm like even considering starting my own little gig on Fiverr of like, I'll write your graduation speech, you know. Wedding season is kicking my butt though right now. I'm a little behind, not behind on orders. I just got a lot of orders in the bag right now, which is a blessing, bro. I'm telling you, this month it's been awesome so far, and I'm truly grateful. And just want to kind of keep you guys posted on that, because there was a time it was not, you know what I mean? I've shared that with you guys on the show before, and you know, blessings came through the listeners of the show at that time too, which has been incredible, with shirts and donations and stuff like that. So couldn't have got through that season without you guys, truly. God obviously put y'all in my life for a reason, so I'm so grateful for y'all, the Alisea family, and everybody else that has donated. My dad was giving monthly to the show too, and it's just incredible, guys. So I appreciate it so much. So yeah, man, with all that being said, I think I'll just leave you with this message so we can leave it right at 30 minutes, man. Just turn to God, man, through the blessings when you're not experiencing the blessings and when you're craving the blessings. You know, like, there's a season for everything, God says. And like, there's a season for happiness. There's a season for sadness. There's a season for joy. There's a season for laughter. You know, there's a season for mourning. There's a season of celebration. You know, it's like, that's going to happen. This is life, y'all. We're in a battle right now, a spiritual battle. We're in between the cross and the comeback. So we have to realize that and apply that to our lives, and take faith and hope and joy, knowing that, like, yo, the battle's already been won. Like, it is written who wins. You know, like, Jesus took back the keys of death. You know, He knows what happened to us when we die, you know. And if you're experiencing a loss in the family, just realize, like, yo, if they're saved, we're good, you know. And that's why it's so important to make sure the people in your life, you know God as much as you can possibly do. Plant as many seeds as you can, and you know, let your life be the testimony. Let your life be the sermon. And that's the biggest way to bring people closer to Christ, is letting your life be the sermon. Also, I read something in my school book about hell, and wow, guys, it's pretty powerful stuff. I'm going to share it with you guys at another time. But it just really opened my eyes to the reality that we're dealing with right now, and the truth of the matter that, yo, we gotta get people saved. We gotta help as much as we can. We gotta get people to come to the Lord. You know, we got to be praying into that, and then just, you know, asking God to use us, not just with our own circle of influence, but with, you know, the people of this world, the people that we interact with on a daily, weekly, random basis when we travel, everything of that regard. All right, so lean into God, man. Hope this episode found you well today. Good morning. Hope you have a great week of life. And we're up early with the birds, baby. Let's go.